This is the Marvel Legends series Deadpool and Deadpool from the 2018 Deadpool Marvel Legends series of figures featuring Sasquatch as the Build-A-Figure. And here is the packaging at the back for Redpool and Graypool. Redpool is the 90s Deadpool, while Graypool, as fans call them, not, those aren't the official names. Graypool is the X-Force Deadpool when he joined the X-Force with Wolverine and the rest of the gang. So packaging very, very similar. There's some artwork that differentiates the sides of the packaging and obviously the back, but the front looks exactly the same. Even up top you get that red Deadpool logo, basically the same. All right, so they come packaged. He's one per case, and this one is two per case. Case is the box that gets shipped to the stores. There are 8 figures. There's 2 of this guy. Okay, he doesn't have a BAF part, a BAF, and well, he does. Okay, let's start with Graypool, or X-Force Deadpool, since he is the repaint. Articulation for the figure is going to be the same. I'm not going to talk about it because it's exactly the same one as we've gotten with this guy. They've modified a few pieces here and there. Obviously, these, let me just, why is my light off? The straps on the sword sheaths and the swords are exactly the same. They just painted differently, obviously. Instead of having these molded in arm guards, he's got the wristbands, and it is a recycling of the Cyclops mold, and with just different pieces. This one has been molded in some shin guards and different feet, while this one retains those Cyclops feet and quite possibly some of Cyclops' straps. This one is exactly the same as that one, just painted differently. And he has some of the accessories that the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool has. Repainted rifle. He's got a repainted gun. He does not have that gun or that one or the taco or the bazooka. You'll have to get the HasCon X-Force Deadpool exclusive, which I don't have. But I didn't get that, so I picked this one up instead. If you had that one, you probably don't need this one. The only difference is this one has that armband right there instead of the black stripe, and that one has more accessories. But I actually like the gray on this one. This one is a brighter type of gray from the ones I've seen. Some of the reviews or pictures I've seen, the HasCon has a bit of a bluish type of gray, darker type of gray. So I kind of like this one more, and because that thing is just going for a ridiculous amount. Okay, so that's that. We'll talk about this guy later when we review the other Redpool, or the 90s Deadpool. All right, so let me just get rid of this one first. Another thing you might be curious to find out, to know, is if you already have the X-Force Deadpool from the Epic Heroes Return of the Marvel Legends Deadpool, should you get this one? Well, I actually like this mold better than this one. This one is the exact repaint of the Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack. And in some countries, this figure was actually repacked in this kind of packaging, and it's going for, what, $200, $300, which is ridiculous. So we'll talk about this one later as well when we talk about Redpool. We'll put that off to the side. All right, so if you've already bought this figure, I'm sorry I can't take him out of packaging because this piece is going to a buddy of mine, and he wants it mint in box on card, so I'm not taking it out. I've already sold my loose version, my loose copy, so you'll have to deal with this. I do apologize. So if you already bought this guy, should you get this one? Well, I've checked my comic books of Uncanny X-Force when Wolverine recruited him with Archangel, Psylocke, Phantom X, and all that. It looks a lot closer to the one in the comic books. The comic books had like a strap going on across his chest, and he had this. It was like a pistol belt that he had here, and there was an X there. So I think this is the closest one to this. This is sort of more of like a a 90 his look after 90s Deadpool, and I think this is a more accurate representation of the X-Force Deadpool, and as such, I don't really need this one anymore. It's going off to a buddy of mine. So yes and no. Yes, you should get this one if you're going for accuracy and just overall better mold. In general, I like the mold. I like the ball joint here instead of the ball hinge and all that. It's a more seamless mold. I love the improvements that Hasbro's done with this figure, better than this one. So yes, no. If you know X-Force Deadpool, it was just a phase in his career. It's the red Deadpool you should be going after, because the red Deadpool is, I think, the more significant one rather than the X-Force or the X-Men Deadpool. I didn't bother keeping the blue and yellow X-Men Deadpool, because it was just a phase in his life. And like I know Deadpool aficionado, you got to get every single one, but for me, one X-Force Deadpool is enough, and this one I think is the one you should keep. So if you already have this one, you're trying to track down this one or the Hasbro version, and you're not really up to paying that ridiculous amount of money, then okay, you can keep them. So enough with that. That one's going away, and this one is staying. So really like this one. Basically the same as that one. He does not have the alternate head. You'll probably have to get the Hasbro version, HasCon exclusive for that. But nevertheless, it is an amazing figure, and I love it. Okay, on to Redpool. Now, they are the 90s Deadpool. And quite frankly, I was pretty amazed with this figure. I didn't think it was going to be anything spectacular, because it's a rehash of several just Marvel Legends molds that we've seen. The body mold is very familiar. It's sort of like a shrunk down Spider-Man Kane or 2099 Spider-Man. It feels like it's shrunk down. It's not exactly how, I don't have those figures anymore. I've sold them off. But the extra joint here, the feet, those old classic feet that he has, really reminds me of other molds that we've seen. And I love the way they've repurposed it. I think this is a perfect homage to when Cable recruited him for X-Force back in the day, in the 90s, with the New Mutants taking on the name of X-Force. So I thought this is pretty cool. Now, here's the other Deadpool figure. And out of all the three, I still like this one. I'm very partial with this one. I think it's the modern look. It's closest to how he looks in the movie. But this one is not bad. Between the two, I kind of like this one more than this one. But I am keeping this one. I have this one as a special place in my collection. I kind of like him. He was the first Deadpool figure I got. This one, for all intents and purposes, was a very good Deadpool figure. Okay. Needless to say, Hasbro has been trying to improve their technology in creating better and better Marvel Legends figures for the fans, and this is quite a classic example of that. I am loving it simply because it's a great repurpose of the mold. It's got some fantastic details, which we'll talk about right now. As you can see, the head sculpt is brand new. It's his classic old look. It's just missing that little bit of a tail right there. But other than that, it's pretty cool. He's got the, this thing is probably removable. Just haven't figured out how to remove it. I'm not going to, don't worry about it. But you could probably slip it off if you wanted to, just take off the arms or something like that. But no, it's pretty cool. He's got some nice like samurai sheaths right there on his back. It's a little bit bent. You'll have to bend it out then when it comes in packaging. It's got two katana swords that are much shorter than what he has right now. So that's pretty cool. They both slip in nicely right there. That was pretty cool. And the pouches, red. This is Deadpool. This is your classic Deadpool. And he's got these just like that one, repurposed as well. This is the Rob Liefeld design, and I'm just loving it. If you grew up in the 90s in comic books and 80s, I grew up in the 80s, but I started reading comic books in the 90s, and you know, this has so much nostalgia about it, and I'm just loving it. So articulation, should even go about it. Ball jointed neck that's on a hinge, ratcheting ab crunch, waist swivel. Again, that in and out shoulder piece shoulder hinge joint, ball hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go up to there, ball hinge wrists that go in and out, both of them. It's interesting that they can, it looks like it should hold a gun, but in the 90s Deadpool did have a gun. So you can easily swap any of the guns that the other Deadpool figures have, or a cable or whatever, very easily. So, or if you have AIM soldiers, you can give them the guns. Got a ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, calf swivel, ball hinge ankles with a rocker pivot. Paint apps for the figure, absolutely amazing. Both figures actually do have great paint apps, nothing to complain about. I'm very pleased with it. Hasbro's been doing a wonderful job keeping quality control down on their figures, and very, very nice. Both figures are going to get a 10 out of 10 for me, and just in time for the Deadpool movie coming out in about a week's time. I am very excited. So hope you've enjoyed this little video review. This has been the Marvel Legends series Deadpools, the X-Force Deadpool, and the 90s Deadpool from the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure wave from Hasbro. Thanks for watching.